Markus' background is he's today talking for the Directorate General Agriculture, which is usually our first address when we talk to forest-related issues. They are in charge of the forest strategy, so Markus will also talk to us. We will discuss later on. Markus' background is for more than 20 years a forestry expert on the European international scale in research, coordination, larger project, collaborative project. He had been at the formerly known for most of you Mettler and then Luke Institute, collaborating all across the world, across Europe. And stopping here, Markus, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Andreas, for your very nice introduction. And I would like to, since it's the first time I take the floor, I would like to thank the Vice Minister for his very wise speech, and I would like to thank also the organizers of this event, Lehre and Edurne. Very well done. And thank you also for showing the video. I learned a lot just this 5 minutes, so it was an excellent communication tool of yourself. And I'm here today on behalf of the European Commission, but also or more of the European Commission, DG Agriculture and Rural Development. So what we intend quite easily to forget is the second part of our DG, is the rural development. Just when mentioning, we don't forget it when it comes to funding, but just for mentioning. And I think we all understand that the rural areas, they are very important for us. Here in the rural areas. Sorry? Okay. Microphone. Okay. Yeah. Okay. No, it's okay. Like this. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Okay. Thanks a lot. I thought you had already a comment on the rural areas. But anyway, so we don't forget the rural areas. It's very important because here comes the raw material that we are interested in. Interested in a bioeconomy, in a circular bioeconomy, when it comes to replace fossil-based fuels with renewable materials. So very important. I'm here today to listen to you, to hear you, and to understand you a bit better. But also, I'm one part of the Commission. There are also many other people working in the Commission. So I'm today taking the messages that you tell, the questions, and perhaps in the future we are able to, or if I'm not here able to address them now, then in the future we are able to address. So I'm working in DG Agriculture in a unit, it's called Environmental Sustainability. It's a team of about 30 people. We are focused mostly on the CAP strategic plans, funding under the CAP strategic plans, but we also have a small team of foresters, five people in DG Agri. So all the time, if something comes to our table, or comes something to DG Agri on forest related, it comes to our table. And it has been increasing during the past years after the Green Deal. So we have quite a lot of forest related and forest focused political or policy instrument at EU level that influence also you, of course, you at your national level, but then also at the regional level. And we see a development that there are more and more regulative, so there are regulations. So before, in the last Commission, we had more a directive approach, but now they are more regulatory. So they apply almost directly at your national level. Having said this, I would like to thank also Nelson for giving a very good global overview. So I learned every day something new, so it was very good. But I mean, this is not news for everybody. I think if you are very well following the news, or not even the news, but I guess also here in Southern Europe, you see it every summer, that you have very hot periods. So we know that the global and European warming is accelerating. And we also know that in 2023 it was the warmest record by huge margin. And I think you have seen this also here in Spain with the forest fires. And Europe is warming twice as fast as other parts of the world's region. So that's also very important to remember. So we are faced by a global warming effect that is coming faster and faster at us. And then we see it not only on our forest ecosystems, but also on the agriculture area. You don't have water, you don't have rain, and then you are quite much in trouble. And then we also know different scenarios, and don't say that they are all exactly right, because they are scenarios, but there are different scenarios, and these scenarios talk about a range of global warming from 2.5 to 7 degrees plus, and that's huge. So I personally can see this when I'm back in home in Finland. This winter and also the past winters have not been so cold, and quite a lot of snow, I have to say. And this is also challenging, of course, also for the forest management, because we are doing the forest management also on the soils that are not so stable, very wet. We are doing this in the winter. And we have to rethink how we manage the forest in the north. And I can imagine that you in the south also have own challenges to face. So we have these extremes. They're coming fast, these extremes. We have more heat records. And there we have quite a lot of more. So we have droughts, forest fires, insect outbreaks, heavy rainfalls. We also see that. I heard from a colleague that last week he was in Valencia. And he said it was not raining for many months. He went there with the family from Brussels. It's starting to rain. So very heavy rainfalls. And then I already mentioned the shorter period of snow cover. So this we have, and then we also have that it influences also the people. Huh? It's not very nice if it's very hot for the people. So we are the problem, but we are also the solution. So we can actually act. And how to respond? So we have several challenges in Europe. So large parts of the forest are vulnerable. That's a fact. We see that. We see the huge areas in Germany, the Harz Mountains. We see other areas. And we thought some 10 or 15 years ago that beech will all survive. It will be in the middle. But then we also see the beech has quite a lot of problems. So quite scary. And then we also are faced that we need to make the decision, the forest management decision, based on incomplete information. That's also a fact, because we do not know how the climate will look like, or how our forest ecosystem will develop in the climate, because we don't know how the climate will develop. And I think we all agree that the resilience of the forest is something that we really should aim. And here, of course, the forest then needs the active forest management, because we have to help the forest to be more resilient. So there's also a need in restoration and change perhaps in the management practice to make this forest more resilient. But then we have to also take into account, and that was very nice in the video, and also Nelson mentioned it, that the forests in Europe, they vary quite a lot. And you're all your specialists in, so I don't have to go in detail. But it's not only from the ecological side, but also on the history of management, on the ownership structure. So in the Nordic, we have quite a high private forest owner share. In Central Eastern European parts, we have a high share of state-owned forests. So this is also, and then how is the history of this, and also the history of use. And I think we all agree that these challenges that we have it really needs local adaptation. And here, I think also you come in as the forest specialist, because you know your forest quite well. You know how to manage it. And you have perhaps some insight that nobody knows. So I think it's the local part that we have to really focus on. And then, let's be honest, I think one size doesn't fit all. I think that's quite clear. And there's a need also, and it was mentioned, for scientific results. So we need to make our decision based on evidence. And that is sometimes quite challenging. But here also comes the monitoring in. Here come also the long-term data or information on forests that you have. It's very important. Here comes in your national forest inventories that have quite a lot of experience and a long history in collecting data. So this is very important. But not only the statistical ground-based information that we get from the plots at the national forest inventories, but we can also combine this with remote sensing. Yeah? So there's a way to do this a bit better. But then also we have, of course, to think about the costs of how we monitor the forest. Is it always bringing in the costs? Something that I've been saying this already, but this active management that we need. Huh? And it is, I think, also very important to have the social economic component in the whole discussion. Next, in side by side, and also interlinked the social economic impacts and also the ecological. And I've been now, some weeks ago, I've been also listening a new term that I'm going to look a bit deeper into. It's the social ecologic dimension. So I think that's something that we have to look also a bit into. And here it was mentioned that the Forest Europe process in the 90s, when they defined the sustainable forest management and a criterion indicator. So here I think we have got quite a good concept, SFM, but it's not a static concept. I think we have to develop this concept. We have to reopen the concept, look at it. Are the indicators that we are currently using for the SFM, are they still fit for purpose? And this is something that Forest Europe as a organization, and some of you have been working even in Forest Europe, like Edurne. So this is a good organization to look at this. And Forest Europe has been, the SFM definition and the criterion indicators has been the base of certification, for example, for the PFC. So it's really, it's down to the earth. And then we have been initiating at EU level a couple, so this is just a couple of policies that support the forest adaptation. Those are on a strategy basis, like on a communication paper, the EU Forest Strategy, developed in cooperation with DG Agri, DG Environment, and DG Klima. Then the EU Adaptation Strategy, the EU Biodiversity Strategy, and the EU Soil Strategy. And although there are strategies and communication papers and not legal binding in itself, they contain several objectives and targets that are then in the long run binding, like protecting a certain area of forest or doing a certain measurement. But then also we have the legislation, and I'm sure you have been hearing about those legislation, like about the nature restoration law, also about the discussions going on in the parliament. Because here also we see that we are not one size fits all. We see that it raises a lot of feelings, and it needed a lot of discussion, this nature restoration law. Then we have going currently the EU Forest Monitoring proposal, and this is a very important proposal because this combines together the information needs of many of the forest-related regulations, like the nature restoration law with the forest-related indicators on deadwood, on forest bird species, on soil carbon. And then we also have the forest reproductive material, also very important, and I think we have a specialist on that also later in the panel. So we also have to focus on that in getting the best material out to the forest. And I think we also have to be honest, and we have to see that, okay, if the beech in Germany is not surviving currently, can we perhaps have the beech from Romania there? Which might be better. It might be better adapted to droughts. So I think we have to look in that. And then the LULUCF framework, and then lately the voluntary carbon removal framework. And I looked it up yesterday, and I think it's planned to be adopted in April 2024, where we have created the voluntary certification schemes for forest owners. And then the soil monitoring and resilience. And then we have been also creating in the European Commission guidance and voluntary guidance, not guidelines, they're different. So guidance, voluntary, meaning it should give a direction, but they are not binding for you. So we have the afforestation and reforestation, biodiversity friendly, tree planting. Then we have the closer to nature forestry, Natura 2000 and climate change, and the development of national adaptation strategies. And here also, and I will talk about this later, from the Commission side, we also involve the stakeholders, and for example, the creation of the closer to nature forestry guidelines or the afforestation, also not here in the list, but the old growth forest definition. So we create this with the stakeholders together. And then it comes to the funding and financing part. So we have the structural investment funds where goes quite a lot of money. And of course, we all understand it's your money that you have been paying in the European Commission, and then you get it back. So it's not the money of the European Commission. Then we also have the CAP. I will talk about this in a second also, and then the life programs. And then we also have the capacity building and the knowledge. We fund quite a lot, or the European Commission or the European Union funds quite a lot of projects. So also forest adaptation related projects. And I think that's actually an excellent. I remember very, very in the beginning, we had the cost actions, and I had the privilege to be in one of the first cost actions. It was E4 on the protected forests as a young student. So I was just listening to the wise women and men. But then it was like the funding was like you get the travel money back, and in the end you have quite a lot of trouble in getting the results. But now with this funding from the European Union with Horizon 2020, I think it's an excellent opportunity in getting results. And I think there we have also to look in the mirror a bit, is that we have to use the results better. But then also from the project side, from the communication side, you also have to communicate the results a bit better. I know the challenge being not so long time ago, but some time ago, a researcher, you think, okay, a deliverable, it has to be at least 500 pages. It's quite good for a deliverable, but for a policymaker, doesn't work. Because the reality is that, for example, myself, I get on the table a forest-related file, and I have, I don't know, in the best case, I have 2 days to answer and to comment on that. And there helps quite a lot if I have the results of the project in a very dense manner. Of course, the experience and expertise in forestry also comes quite in handy, but we need also you. We need the newest and best results. And then we also have, of course, the experts groups, where at least the USSE is part of the Forest and Forestry Stakeholder Platform. I think it's also an excellent forum to discuss within the experts, the stakeholders, but also with the Commission, And we had several meetings, and it's a good forum to discuss with you, with the stakeholders. But we, of course, we also have other forums, like the Standing Forestry Committee, where the member states are part. There we also discuss on forest-related issues. So there are many forums on European level where we could discuss or can discuss and do discuss on forest-related issues. And of course, you are listened also, and we hear you, and hopefully also we understand you. Then some words on the financial support. Although DG Agri in this commission is not in lead of most of the forest-related files, we are associated under the EU Forest Strategy. I think we have quite an important part in financing under the CAP, the forest-related measurements. And those are afforestation and creation of woodland, establishing regeneration and renovation of agroforestry system. I think very, very important for you here in Spain. The prevention and restoration of damage to forest from forest fires and natural disasters and catastrophic events. Also very important, in my point of view, for this region. Because we could see that you have quite a lot of forest fires. And I didn't look it up so deeply, but I understood that we have quite a lot of forest fires in unmanaged forest. But I have to look in this a bit deeper, so don't quote me on that. This was the same. Then improving the resilience and environmental values of forest ecosystems. Then also forest technology can be funded under the CAP. Natura 2000 payments, forest environment and climate service, I just go through and so on. And I mean, I don't want you to look in this into detail, but I asked my colleague who has been in the Commission for 25 years, and we call him the old crow forester because he is close to retirement. So he is in charge of these CAP strategic plans and the forest measurements under, and he looked for the numbers for me, and I think that's quite impressive that what is planned under the different actions and what is actually reported. And what we can see is that there's been an increase in the planned, and especially related to forest fire prevention. And forest fire prevention also means building or maintaining the forest roads. And a part that Finland has not warmed up so much, and we didn't have so many forest fires, but if we have forest fire, it's very easy to go in the forest because there are forest roads for the heavy machinery. And I think that's also very important. We also need to take this into consideration. We have to go in the forest. So I said this already, what we have to take into account, but my last slide, and so this presentation is more like a starter for the discussions with you. I don't tell you any like holy truth, because I think it's a colleague want me that European Commission, you go there and you will get all the difficult questions. You're ready for that. But as I want to say also that, of course, the European Commission has the different directorates, environment, klima, IMPA, budget, Agri. And we work also, of course, we as civil servants, we work there on the different documents, but also there's a political agenda. And of course, we as a DG, we have the right to propose a regulation, but then after the regulation is proposed as draft, those are discussed with you, with the member states, within the parliament. And I think here comes perhaps the beauty, but also the difficulty of it. Because do we always understand what it is about? Do we always have the expertise there at place on forest and forest-related issues? I don't know. I've been now working for 1 year in the Commission, and apart from knowing now where the copy machine is, I also know how the European Union functions, and also the Commission. Because before I went to the Commission, I worked for the Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry in Finland, and so I was sitting on the other side of the discussions from the member states' point of view, and we were always wondering, why does the Commission never send a document in time? They present the presentation there, when they're there, and they don't answer the questions. Here it is so that we may have the document already 3 weeks before the meeting, but then we have a hierarchy that has to look at it and to sign it. And personally, I think if this can be developed, that would be great. But of course, again, I've been working all my life in Finland, and there's no little hierarchy, so I was quite surprised when coming. But okay, where from here? Sorry, I get a bit carried out. So we have a lot of legislation forest related, and we will have the parliament election in June, and go voting. Yeah? So it's not you don't have to, but I really recommend you to go voting, because it's a way of influencing. But what we can be for sure is that even if the parliament is going to change, the Green Deal is still there, and we have the regulations there, so they have to be implemented. So that's nothing that goes away. But perhaps there will be change in direction. Nobody knows. I don't have the glass ball for that. Then we continue to pay this CAP-related forestry measures. They will be called, as I understood, different in the future. Then we will put our money on funding research, development and innovation. That's also very important. And on capacity building. So this forum is very important, but also forums like the stakeholder groups. And then what I've always been trying, and this is not an open invitation to you, but I think it's also very good that we at the European Commission are meeting stakeholders to listen to their concerns and also suggestions. It's of course easy to say, doesn't work, but please present us also solutions or suggestions how to do things better, because I think there is the beauty that we can discuss and have a dialogue or even a trialogue. So come to the Commission and ask for meetings. I think that's very, very important. And I know it's very difficult to come to Brussels, but it's worth to meet and to establish a connection personally. So saying that, I would like to thank you, and I still have 1 minute and 20 seconds. But I will stop now here, and I'm looking then forward to the panel. And if then have your questions, I can answer the questions. And don't be sorry if I don't answer all questions. I will make notes, and I could come back to you. But thank you very much, and thank you very much for organizing. My personal goal is to learn a lot today. I have my paper and I have my pen, and I'm going to listen to you and hopefully also understand you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Brilliant.